I am headed to TORG, which stands for the Ohio Retro Game Expo in Columbus, Ohio, 2 hours south of where I'm staying with family in Akron. So I brought along some company. Austin, say what's up. Coming from California, my experience with cons has been limited to the San Diego Comic-Con, basically, and that is gigantic in comparison to this. But to be honest, this small, old-school feel and the vibes that were given off from being here were really unique, and I enjoyed this kind of feeling better. All the people I was speaking to could relate to the games that I loved, and speaking of games, there were so many of them, but it wasn't limited to games. They also had like Super Mario lunchboxes, and you'll see in a second an NES holder that I've never even seen before in my life, and it was made in 1988, and this is a Super Mario beach chair. In addition to that, they also had a free play arcade, which tons of arcades. You could just sit down and play. There wasn't much of a line, and just like a real arcade, some of them were out of service. I also bumped into CM Retro here, and we had a blast in this place.
Smash and his son are in a heated battle of Tekken 3 right now. I already lost.
And stay down.
But I'm going to make a comeback.
Stay down. Stay down. Stay down. I'm the winner.
How does it feel to beat up on a little kid, man?
It was great. Talking with Chris, who's come to this convention last year, and this is the 4th annual year of TORG. They have grown exponentially, and it's now 3 times the size of what it was last year. I can only imagine what's going to be next year. This is my son playing Frogger in the tournament area. They had a whole bunch of TVs set up for championships, for Smash Brothers and fighting games. Tons of fun. Tons of people having a blast with all this stuff. And as far as my pickups are concerned, I'm going to start with the Sega Dreamcast, and that was Evolution. This is a game I've always wanted. Since I first got my Dreamcast on launch day, this was the game I had my eye on, but it was always just a little too expensive for the funds that I had at the time, and I got this for a very fair price, so I couldn't say no to that. And look, a shining example of Sega Dreamcast power. In addition to that, I got Time Stalkers, which is another RPG on the Dreamcast. Now, apparently, these are 2 of the 5 total RPG games that were made on the Sega Dreamcast. And this is another one of those games I always wanted, but never really had the funds for. And because it was such a great price, I couldn't say no. And look, it even comes with great VMU mini games. I don't know if that's really a feature I'd care about, but hey, why not? And also Worms Armageddon. Now, those of you in the know, this one goes for a crazy amount, upwards of $150 or more on the N64. But he sold this to me for $12 on the Dreamcast, and I don't know why there's such a drastic price difference. Probably because of rarity, not really sure. But altogether, all 3 of these games are $40. Couldn't say no to that. But I didn't come to this con for Dreamcast games. I came for the N64 to complete my collection. I got Hercules, Wheel of Fortune, I believe that's Rush 2. Don't really know. Somebody ran that through the laundry a few too many times. Twisted Edge Snowboarding and Miss Pac-Man. Now, these are in rough shape, but I got all 5 of them for $15. And for the price these games typically go for, I couldn't say no to those either. And finally, I got a couple DS games. First off, Final Fantasy, The 4 Heroes of Light. Just like the Sega Dreamcast games, this is one of those games I always wanted but just never had the funds for. The price he was selling it at, $10 in brand new, basically, condition. I couldn't say no. It looks like a blast to play. And finally, I got Heroes of Mana. Now, this game is brand new with a little bit of a slit on the back for $20, and it looks just like Final Fantasy Tactics or Ogre Battle, but with Secret of Mana characters. And if you guys know me, you know I'm a nut for anything Secret of Mana, so I can't wait to try this one out. I'm just leaving TORG now, and it was a blast. I got to meet Chris from CM Retro in person, which was wild and kind of weird because I've known him for so long on YouTube. I got to actually meet him, and he is human, which was pretty cool. I also got to see Shelton from Retro Games, Vinyl and Beer, a few other YouTubers that I wasn't too familiar with, but it was really cool meeting new people. Tons of games, tons of people in general. The convention was huge. According to CM Retro, it's like 3 times the size of what it was last year. And it's good to see the retro gaming community blowing up like it has been. I bought way too many games that I don't know when I'm even gonna get to play them because I already have a ridiculous backlog, but that's not why I buy games. I buy games because I'm a hoarder, I'm a game collector, I'm an addict, and I also like to play video games on the side. And like you guys know, I took my son. You can tell he had a lot of fun himself, seeing as he's knocked out, and we got him a little Mario as well. So, and by little Mario, I mean it's almost as big as he is. I don't know how we're gonna fit that on the plane ride home. You might have to buy a seat for him. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.